Good afternoon, everyone. As we're about to begin at exactly 2 p.m., please find yourself a seat to settle down and be comfortable. And just a few friendly reminders, kindly make sure to have your microphones muted to avoid interruption. And if possible, please turn on your cameras throughout the whole duration of the webinar. And also, I would like to seek your cooperation. I hope you will be able to stay with us until the end of this webinar workshop. Thank you so much, and please stand by. Good afternoon, everyone. As we're about to begin at exactly 2 p.m., please find yourself a seat to settle down and be comfortable. And just a few friendly reminders, kindly make sure to have your microphones muted to avoid interruption. And if possible, please turn on your cameras throughout the whole duration of the webinar. And also, I would like to seek your cooperation. I hope you will be able to stay with us until the end of this webinar workshop. Thank you so much, and please stand by. Good afternoon, everyone. As we're about to begin at exactly 2 p.m., please find yourself a seat to settle down and be comfortable. And just a few friendly reminders, kindly make sure to have your microphones muted to avoid interruption. And if possible, please turn on your cameras throughout the whole duration of the webinar. And also, I would like to seek your cooperation. I hope you will be able to stay with us until the end of this webinar workshop. Thank you so much, and please stand by. Good afternoon, everyone. As we're about to begin at exactly 2 p.m., please find yourself a seat to settle down and be comfortable. And just a few friendly reminders, kindly make sure to have your microphones muted to avoid interruption. And if possible, please turn on your cameras throughout the whole duration of the webinar. And also, I would like to seek your cooperation. I hope you will be able to stay with us until the end of this webinar workshop. Thank you so much, and please stand by. Good afternoon once again. We will now start our webinar. And as we begin, let us start it with a prayer and followed by the singing of the national anthem, Awit sa Bohol, and TPC hymn.
Dreams can come true, a school for us and the successors we will earn. Our ambition forgets glory and Taliban. Forward Taliban, Polytechnic College, to reach our goals and our plans. March on Taliban, Polytechnic College, towards development for our nation. Our dear alma mater, an academy for me and you, instrument for unity, building faith in the Almighty. Forward Taliban, Polytechnic College, to reach our goals and our plans. March on Taliban, Polytechnic College, towards development for our nation. Let's continue a journey, driven by a vision. Climb every mountain, swim every sea. Forward Taliban, Polytechnic College, to reach our goals and our plans. March on Taliban, Polytechnic College, towards development for our nation.
Hello, everyone! I hope we already have a lot of participants. Please inform your classmates and friends to join now. And today's webinar is very special because we have a video message. So, let's watch the video message from our very own College President, Dr. Mariafe P. Comahig.
To the speakers of this webinar series on mental health, to the organizer of this very timely activity, Ms. Lauderdale Mumar, TPC Guidance Counselor, to the Vice President for Academic Affairs, Dr. Marcelina Sales, the deans and program heads, teachers and staff, and most importantly, to the students of Taliban Polytechnic College, good day. Many incidents have happened since the onset of this pandemic, starting last March 2019. To be specific, many students have been affected and are disturbed, especially on their mental health. Suicides have been committed because these students could not cope up with the demands of the times, especially on requirements for output submission. At this juncture, I would like to express my wholehearted gratitude to the speakers and to the students who have shared previous time listening to these webinars. The lessons that you are learning will be a part of your gains so that you will value time management, which is very important this time. Handling your problems in life is also one of our concerns, rather than you will resort to untoward behavior. Thank you, Ma'am Dale, for planning and implementing this activity. Problems are parts of our existence. We should handle these problems lightly because God is giving this to us, for there are solutions. Thank you and good day. Stay safe, everyone.
Thank you so much, Dr. Comahig, for that very meaningful message. And if you were able to attend the first webinar we had, Miss Beauty New mentioned that stress is everywhere. And for today's webinar, we will be learning a lot about self-care and hoping that you will be able to handle the stresses around you well. So, for our speaker for today, she is a graduate of Masters of Arts in Education, major in Guidance and Counseling from the Cebu Normal University, and a graduate of Bachelor of Science in Psychology from the University of San Carlos. She is a registered psychometrician, registered guidance counselor, and a licensed professional teacher. She is currently a psychology instructor and guidance counselor of CNU Integrated Laboratory School and College of Cebu Normal and College of Nursing of Cebu Normal University. Without further ado, help me welcome Ms. Bernadette Uwayan Bigkas.
Hey, good afternoon, everyone. Hello, can you hear me?
Good afternoon. Yes, Miss Bern. Good
Hi,
afternoon,
Miss
Miss Bern.
Dale. Yeah, good to see you. Thank you for the invitation. No, I am, and really, no, it's my honor to be here and share my knowledge about mental health as well as self care. So I will start now. Okay. Okay, I'll start screen share now, ha? Okay, there.
Ay, sapat din.
Okay. So once again, good afternoon to students of TTC. So before we am going to start, I'd like just to check, no, type in the chat box. How are you feeling today? Give me that one word that you are feeling today. Let me see. Maka-chat naman sila, Miss Dale, no? Can they use the chat box?
Yes, Miss Bern. They can
Okay.
send their replies.
Okay. Yeah, they're fine. Else. According to Christine, fine. Tense, bless. Oh, doing good, grateful. Good to hear that. Rosalind, no, you're so grateful. Else, bless. Tense. Okay. Blessed Sunday. Okay, according to Seth. Okay, great. Laban lang, no? According to Rilbert. Laban lang. Who else? Grateful. Happy. Okay, so just a quick check, no? Just a quick check. How are you feeling today? I hope you are all doing good. How was your sleep last night? Were you able to sleep 8 hours or less lang? No? How about your lunch for today? What did you had for lunch? Busog na or wala pa nakakaon or ongoing pa ang pagkaon? Okay. How about your activities in class? Were you able to submit everything on time or do you still have missing? Okay. Have you smiled today? No? Did you kinsa imong unang gismilean for today? And what awesome things you have seen today? So, unsa ka na? Your family, maybe, no? Your friends, everything sa inyong balay ngayon makita. So, just a check. Now, to proceed, can you describe to me what you see in the picture? Sige daw, be. Looking at the picture, what can you see? Kindly type in the chat box your answer. Stress. A girl who is stressed, working out recently as edited research. Stress, frustrated, frustration. Okay, stress. Exhausted. Oh, there is the word exhausted. No? And then with this, all the things that you have seen, no, there are challenges. As you can see, the girl is, as you mentioned, feels stressed, exhausted, frustrated because of the challenges maybe of the online classes, job loss, family relationship. Now, as you can see with this pandemic, I would like to ask you for the first activity that we have, how are you coping with the current situations that we have? Are you coping? Are you adjusting? Or are you not coping at all? Okay, hey, coping, trying to cope. Else, trying to cope. Adjusting, hey, coping. So let me see if the kind of coping. I'm glad to hear that there are really lots of participants who are coping. So for those who are adjusting well, the awareness there, no, you are getting there. This would help you, no, towards the coping. Well, those who are not coping, well, I hope this talk will somehow help you in dealing with that frustration or stress that you are feeling. While those who are in the coping stage will maintain that disposition, and I'm glad that you are feeling that way. No? So let me start now. So I would like first to uh, tell you about mental health. Then we proceed with how are we going to take care with ourselves now in relation to mental health. So when we talk about health, the word health organizations states that health is a state of being, complete physical, mental, and social well-being, and not merely the absence of disease or infirmity. So which means when we talk about health, it is not only our body, but mind and body, and we are free from not just only being free from illnesses and injury. And when we talk about, when we relate this one to mental health, uh, okay, when we relate this one into mental health can be defined as a state of being in which the individual realizes his or her own abilities. Take note of the four important terms of the mental health. Individuals can realize his own or her own abilities. They can cope up with the normal stress of life. They can work productively and fruitfully, and they are able to make contribution to his or her community. This is based on the World Health Organization's definitions in 2001. So when we talk about mental health, it includes our emotional, psychological, and social well-being. It affects how we think, how we feel, and how we act. It also would help us how we can handle with stress and relate to others. And it is important, especially when we are making choices. Mental health is very important in every stage of life, from childhood to the so-called adolescence and through uh, adulthood. No? So it is important because what? Mental health, when you have a good mental health, you can easily interact with other people. No? You can interact effectively with other people. And when you can interact effectively with other people, you have a strong relationship, and that strong relationship will help you to build your own resilience. So what is the benefit of having a good mental health? So when you have a good mental health, you will feel happier and positive about yourself. And when you feel positive and when you feel happy, you enjoy life more. No? And when you have a good mental health, you can easily bounce back, which means you are resilient. So you can easily bounce back to whatever frustrations and disappointment that you have. And aside from that, when you have a good mental health, you are healthier in dealing with your families, your friends, with the other peoples in the society. And once you have a healthier relationship, good and effective relationship with other people, you can easily involve into activities. And when you are involved in a particular activities, no, remember, contribution to the community, you will have a sense of accomplishments. And when you have a sense of accomplishment, you can relax and have a good night's sleep, no 8 hours good. So mental health is very important because this would help us now in our day-to-day in dealing with other people, in um, how we make decisions in life. No? However, when we talk about mental health nowadays, as mentioned, no, by your president, there are lots of impact, especially with this pandemic. With this pandemic, so in times of crisis, particularly, no, 2 years ago, we become pandemic. So what does pandemic mean? So we experience panic. This is reality. No? Even I, during that time, there was panic because there is the sudden fear of the virus. This is an unknown enemy. We don't know where it is, and the feeling of uncertainties. Then we experience the so-called anxiety. We become anxious over things, no? Over our school deadlines, over online classes, our major examinations, our relationship. or even, no, most importantly, we are very anxious about our health. No? Naalay mo ubo, makuyawan ta. No? Naalay tibok barangay, magubot na. No? We feel anxious about it. And with this anxiety, there is a negativity. Negativity, where does it comes from? From the social medias that we have and other news platforms na mga atong makita. With this negativity, sometimes we feel the so-called denial. Denial in the sense that we would say, this is not happening to us, or this is not happening to Cebu, this is not happening to Bohol, no? And these things would lead us to the so-called emotional stress. Lots of emotions during this time of pandemic comes out, caused by relationship, the job loss, no? The job loss, family, the feeling that we are now almost 2 years in quarantine. And could you just imagine? And we feel mistrust that can negatively affect us, and may result into anger and self-doubt, in ourselves and to other people as well. We also feel impatience that we are still on quarantine and we wanted to go back to the previous life that we have. No? However, we have already in the so-called new normal. So, like this one, we're having a webinar. Nindot ato no kung dili the usual one para di anak sa buhol, but with the new normal that we have, it would be like this, no? And then there is the feeling of confused on what we are going to do if we are infected, confused what are we going to do with other people around us, how are we going to deal with those people, how are we going to deal with these feelings that we have. So these are the impacts, aside from the social limitations that we have with the COVID-19 virus. It becomes pandemic. Just mental health, so you're just going to check on it, identify in yourself, which among these items are you feeling, for almost 2 weeks already, Did you feel tired for no good reason? Do you have trouble sleeping or staying or sleeping too much? Or do you have a poor appetite, or do you overeat? Do you feel tired or having little energy about the day? Or do you have little interest or pleasure in doing things? Do you have trouble concentrating on things? Or do you feel restless or fidgety? Or do you feel stressed? Are you stressed now? Or do you feel down, depressed, and hopeless? You have to remember, it's normal for us to feel sometimes low mood, mag-low mood ka, or poor motivation, or we have trouble sleeping. But if you notice, if you have this sign to go on more than a week, it's important to tell other people about it, particularly maybe your parents, your advisors, your guidance counselors, or mental health professionals. Because remember, when we are experiencing this, it can lead to mental health concerns. These are mental health concerns. And you have to remember, when there is a mental health concerns, there is really help available. Okay? So you need to share how you're feeling. So with this COVID pandemic, there are really lots of emerging mental health crises, stress, and depressions that is happening. With the restrict of movements because of the idea that we need to reduce the infections, people are making changes. We are making changes in our daily routine. So based on the survey, in the few months of COVID, there is an increase in loneliness and emotional stress, depression. So the social isolations as well as the loneliness, there is the immediate health relevant effect that should not be ignored by any one of us. Again, when we are experiencing these things, there is good news to that, because there is something that we can do about it. Okay. I'd like to briefly tell you about the mental health continuum. So mental health is not a binary state. You are not either mentally healthy or ill. So our mental health falls in a continuum ranging from being an excellent mental health to severe symptoms such as a panic attacks or major depressive episodes. So there are, as you can see, there are 5 zones in these shades. There are different colors of it, no, from in crisis to excelling. So in each of this stage, there are certain categories or characteristics to it. So when we talk about the persons who are in crisis, this means that they are the ones who are great sufferings, no? And they are the ones who really need immediate help. Their emotional pain may be unbearable, and the symptoms may include severe anxiety and depressions. Even both, no, can be experienced. So there is a great difficulty in performing tasks or daily works, not attending to classes, not even no, doing some of their personal hygiene, such as eating or sleeping. No? So always absent in class, weight loss, or they feel so much anxious. So that is the persons who are in crisis, and they are the ones who really needs an immediate help. While those who are struggling, these are significantly also people who are in trouble. They also feel anxious about themselves, no? Mood can still be very low, and the concentration is still poor, no? Energy is still low, and there's the feeling of poor performance in school, no? Non-attendance, non-submissions of requirements. These are the people who are in the state of struggling. In the yellow zone, as you can see, it stands for the unsettled state of mind. So what does it mean? These are the persons who are surviving. No? So it's important that you have to identify for signs and symptoms. They are maybe in state of distress, but not so much. No? But still, this indicates some problems. They are still worrying. There is still trouble sleeping. No, the appetite is not so good gihapon, no, they feel distracted, but at least they are surviving and lesser compared to in crisis and in struggling. In the thriving, which is a thing that we need or hope to achieve, no, these are the ones who are a normal and healthy state of mental health, as indicated in the light green zone. So, which means we are thriving. So in this zone, we feel fine. We are positive, we are calm, we are performing well, we are eating well, we do normal or social activity well. So whatever worries and annoyances that we have, we cope up fairly. So mo ni sila ang mga people ganina nga ni answer ganina coping, no? You are functioning normally with regards to your behaviors, and your work pattern is okay, normal for you. But however, no, and in the thriving, we also need to achieve the so-called excelling or the excelling state of mental health. This is the highest mental well-being in the continuum, given the right conditions and positive mindset. Take note, not just happiness, but also positive mindset. This is the time that the person would feel joyful, have a sense of fulfillment, no? And they would experience fullest potential. So these are the ones who really you can see high performance, always attendance in class, attending the class, submissions is okay, and they realize that there are things that they need to consider. No? So fully realizing their potential. Now, with all those continuum, mental health continuum from in crisis to excelling, we have to remember that there are help. No, there are help available when we are in crisis, when we are struggling, or when we are even surviving. No, so I'd like to share to you this mental health psychological support pyramid, which is described that enables us to identify how are we going to get help. So looking at the pyramid, not all, you have to remember, not all need psychosocial support, but the basic needs to be fulfilled. So that is in the part one, no? The basic needs to be fulfilled. How can you be strong if you have an empty stomach? Muna siya ginaingon nga. That is why our government, because of this pandemic, they are giving us ayuda, no? Because aside from mental health, we have to be make busog, no? So that is one tangible help that we can do to make sure that basic needs are helped. So may pagkain sa mesa, hindi gutom, no? So basic needs are met. Okay. Then there is the second one, and the second level, as you can see, the family and the community support. So this describes those who are in the mild distress. If you are experiencing the surviving, no, mild distress, you can see that you can be supported with your families and friends. Of course, if you are experiencing those things, sleepless night, there is your mother, there is your father, or even relatives, as well as your even advisors in schools or guidance counselor. You can share how you feel. How are you feeling, no, for mild stress? And and later on, those who are experiencing a much more distress in life, no, and they can be have the focus care. This time they are in need of those who are support and train supervised workers, no, to children. That would include primary health care, no? So they are the ones who can give group interventions or family interventions. And the last one is the specialized care. So these are the ones who are really experiencing severe distress, and these people needs to be referred to the trained professionals, no? The psychiatrists, the psychologists. And you have to remember that help is available, and you have to break that stigma of not speaking up, no, of not speaking up, because the most important thing that we need to have right now is social support, no, social support. So to proceed, the first question, and I still have to ask you a question: who is the person you love the most? I'd like to see your answers in the chat box. Who is the person you love the most? Let me see your answers. My parents, according to Angeline, my parents, parents, no, parents. My family, parents, okay. So kasalanan, my mother, my parents, my family. Family, okay. So kasagara, family. Sa una kay myself, karon kay my children, okay. No, okay. Who else? Who is the person you love the most? Okay, my family. So most of you know, ang inyong answer is my family. My family, my family. No? Now, myself, no, nanagitay ni answer of myself, no, si self, no. So you have to remember the person that you should love the most is yourself, no. As the saying goes, the greatest love of all is easy to achieve. So learning to love yourself is the greatest love of all, and that is the main topic as today, no. We are talking here about ourselves, self-care, no? The so-called self-care. So remember, if there is the person that you need to love the most, it's yourself, no? So what is self-care? Self-care is an activity that we do to take care of our mental, emotional, and physical health. Remember, when we talk about self-care, it requires checking in with ourselves, asking ourselves, kumusta naman ka self, no? Lawas na unsa naman ka, no? Lain man imo pamati, no? So self-care does not mean the same thing for everyone. Lain-lain ta og self-care, no? Different people will have different self-care. And when we talk about self-care, this is not being selfish about ourselves, no? This is not selfishness, but it means that we have to take care of ourselves. You should be well for yourself so that you can do your job. And when you can do your job, you can help other people and care other people. Most importantly, you can do things for your family. Like, could you just imagine if you are not well? No, if you are not well, who will take care of your family? Kung we are not feeling that good with ourselves. So self-care is very important because this would help us cope with the daily stressors of our life. And as importantly, it would also somehow, no, we would say, we cannot give what we do not have. So how can you take care of other people if you are not taking care of yourself? So nahon din nato itong kaugalingon, no? Nahon na itong kaugalingon. And remember, that is not selfishness, but means you need to be healthy so that you can take care more and you can share more to other people. Most importantly, the family that you treasure the most. Okay? So when we take care of ourselves, when we practice self-care, there are benefits to that that links to become a positive health outcome. So there are less stress, you have immune system, no improved immune system, increased productivity, and you would feel a higher self-esteem. This is according to Bridget Courtney in Boston. So he is a leader in wellness technology. So there are there are 6 types of self-care that we have. So there is the emotional self-care, the practical self-care, the physical, the mental, social, and spiritual. So when we talk about emotional, these are activities. Now, we have to remember that when we were doing our self-care, dili kay emotional lang ko i-take, no? Practical ako i-take. But it should be comprised with these 6 types of self-care. Dili lang kay isa lang atong i-take care, physical lang, no? So we have to identify these 6 and identify which are the things that we need for ourselves. No? Kay lain-lain man, lain-lain ng self-care needed for each person. So when we talk about emotional self-care, these are activities that connect us to our emotions, to our full range of emotions. So for example, if you are not feeling good, you see psychiatrists, no? If you are not feeling good and you don't have somebody to talk, you write a journal, no? You play a music, you make an art. So these are pertaining to emotional self-care. Then there is also the mental self-care. These are activities that stimulates your mind or your intellect. So what are those activities related to this? No, reading a book, no, solving a puzzle, playing a chess, going to the museum. So this pertains to mental. And there are also self-care pertaining to practical. These tasks would complete that fulfill our core of aspects in our daily to day life that helps us deal with our future stressful situations. So what are this? No, it would entails like for example for us mother, no, for us mother, creating a budget. Okay, later on kung dili ni mag-create og budget, this would be somehow um make us stress, no, makurot na mong kwarta, no? So creating a budget, no, taking like this, no, attending in a webinar and taking professional development classes. This will somehow help you with your self-care. Organizing your closet, cleaning your house, no, okay, or cleaning your tables, no, study table, study area, because if you are not doing it, this would entail stressful situations in the future sa imuhang self from mismo. Then there is also the physical. The physical, this entails activities that we need to improve well-being that related to our physical health. So what are these? Even if we are still in quarantine, we can always do walking, no? At our house, to sa atong house, no? Doing a walk during lunch, sleeping. Important is sleeping 8 hours a day, drinking water, taking vitamins. No, sometimes may tadi lang tamo take vitamins kay mahal ra ba no makagasto no ma-stress na yun ta kay wala kay budget. But what if no what if you get sick? The vitamins would help you with your physical health, makes your immune no more stronger. So that is why sometimes we spend a little more to make ourselves more healthy. And of course, we need also to enhance with our social self-care, more importantly. So these are activities that nurtures and deepens our relationship with other people. Even if there is already the so-called limitations of contact, physical contact, it doesn't mean we cannot communicate with people virtually. So maybe going out with a date, no, virtually calling your mom or people that you missed before, katong wala na nimo nakastorya, your friends, no. This could mean online kumustahan, no. So taking care of your social well-being. Then lastly, there is the spiritual self-care. So these activities that nurtures the spirit and allows us to think bigger of ourselves. So spirituality in the sense that not really being religious, no, but although part of it, no, some of us, especially we Filipinos, we really believe in the Almighty being bigger than us. So what are those important spiritual self-care that we can do? Meditation, yoga, going to church, no? Kaya open naman ang church karon, but of course, practice social distancing, being in nature, not dedicate yourself a time for reflection, whether in the morning or late night, basta giving time in prayer, maybe, no? So, depending on how you take it, enhancing your spirituality. Okay, so that is the 6 types of self-care. Now, with the self-care that I've mentioned, I'd like also to share to you what are the self-care that I have. No, maybe you can use this one, but you have to remember not everything works for everyone. So you have to find what works for you, and you have to remember that maybe you can choose 1 or 2 things, no, for yourself, and later on you identify what are the things that you can do with your self-care. Okay, not everything works for everyone, man, so you have to find what works for you. So you have to believe also that you can do it, and of course the determinations and the discipline that you really have to do it. No? So these are the self-care that I'm doing right now. So first, of course, I prioritize self. No, what are the things that I do? I establish a routine. Routine in the sense that there is a particular time of waking up in the morning, and of course, particular time of sleeping. No, sleeping time. We have to remember that you establish a routine, because the routine would establish normalcy, and this would gives us sense of security, especially in times. No? Again, eat right, nutritious food, drink plenty of water, and extra vitamins maybe, no? Optimal sleep, 8 hours a day. You do not say that matubig ako kahapon, no, because the sleep in the afternoon is different from the sleep at night. No, so if possible, you have to make sure that you sleep at least 7 to 8 hours a day. Then there is the so-called unplug and unwind. What does it mean to unplug and unwind? This is the time wherein you have to turn off your phone. Not really to turn off, but of course to stay away from your phone and reconnect with yourself. No, katong time of reflections, no? Because that would somehow gives you a sense of bang at peace with yourself, no? Kabantay mo kung when you are always on the Facebook or in the social media, maabta na lang mo duha ka oras, no? Nya, sometimes mabothered mo with all the negativities that you have heard in the newsfeed, nga di mo ka sure kung fake news ba na siya or real news ba na siya. So I think it would be also important that you have to establish a time when to stop using your phone, no, and stay away from it. Dili siguro siya necessarily nga i-turn off, but of course to keep it away from you, and you reconnect with yourself, no, reflect the days that you have, no, and of course if you are so busy with work, make sure to take a break from time to time. And when there's accomplishment, treat yourself, no? Treat yourself. Endlessly worrying about certain tasks can be counterproductive, no? Sometimes allow yourself to relax and focus on what makes you happy. So mo na siya ginaingon na laugh and have fun, no? Laugh in the sense that you do things that you like, be it painting, watching TV, watching Netflix, game and the gadgets, playing pet, anything. Basta it would make you happy and make you kanang have fun, no? Be with your family. Also, taking care of prioritizing yourself is learning new things. Learning new things, especially now in this pandemic, because if you learn new things, there would be sense of accomplishment. No? So prioritize yourself. It is also important, no, during the time of pandemic, that if you are not, no, doing all the things that you have, ask for help. No, we are not all superhero. We are not superhero. And every day we face challenges. We have different challenges. Relationship stress, exam, no, lack of friends, lack of worries, job problems, peer pressures. And what are the reasons that we are not asking for help? Because sometimes we feel the fear of burden. The fear of kani Pilipino kay ni owing a favor, no, kanang utang na loob, hindi lang ko kay kung magpatabang ko niya, no, maiko ko, or the idea that we feel weak And lastly, the reason that we do not ask for help is because of the fear of rejections. But you have to know that rather than being afraid to ask for help, remember this: when you ask someone to help you, you are actually doing them a tremendous favor of giving them the opportunity to feel needed. No, so ask help. There are people that can help you around. No? They are just waiting for you to ask. If if they would not give help for you, for sure there are other people. Kung dili sila mo hatag, wala naman. There are other friends, there are other people. So ato sa ilaha. But the most importantly is you know your weaknesses and you ask for help. Okay. Iniingon man sila, it's okay not to be okay. So when you are feeling not so good, communicate openly and often. Okay. Then, during this pandemic also, we have to, I become a nature lover. No? So, though gardening is not my place, but somehow there are people during the time of pandemic that they become plantitos and plantitas. So gardening can positively impact a number of health outcomes. So good sa mga plantitas, mga titas nato, mga grandma, mga mother, father. However, in my case, it's more on with the pets. No? So studies have shown that when you have pets, it reduces anxieties, it's reduce stress, depression. It eases your loneliness because they can be a sense of companionship. No? They are companion to you and they encourage, improve your health year round. No? So mas less imong stress if you have pets with you. So however, if you are not into gardening or you don't have pets, I think in Bohol, it's very quite nice to be with nature. No? So you go to the beach, you go to the mountain, see the sunset. No? So, however, just practice the so-called physical distance. Of course, importantly during the time of pandemic, especially now, I really decreased my use of social media. Uh, in fact, because of sometimes watching, it becomes more anxious to me. So you have to minimize watching, reading, or listening to news that causes you to feel anxious or distressed. And of course, when you are reading those social medias, get the facts, not the rumors. Make sure that all the things that you read or shared, are not fake news. No? Check onto the labels. No? Check into the sources that you are reading before you read it and before you share it to other people. So decrease social media use. Then, of course, very important, exercise. Exercise. I know you are healthy. You're still at young age, but exercise is important because this would somehow becomes less anxieties and anxious. So it helps you mitigate with those issues during the pandemic. Also, in fact, there are several studies that physical fitness and exercise during the pandemic is very helpful, and there are effective ways in dealing with the pandemic. No? So tune into your body. Okay. Then, of course, practice mindfulness. So, mindfulness is the basic human ability to be fully present, to be aware of what we are doing, and not overly reactive and overwhelmed with what's going around us. So, mindfulness is you tune into your body, scan your body, notice the physical sensations that you have, inhale, exhale. No? So, there are also the so-called loving kindness. No? Katong maingon ka mo, repeat ka sa imong self every day. May I be happy, may I be well, may I be filled with kindness and peace. No? So, kana siya, imo lang nang ibalik-balik ko no? So, ibalik-balik mo sulti. So, practice mindfulness. And of course, yoga can also help. Then, very importantly, is to increase your positive thinking. Reframe yourself. Reframe yourself. Positive thinking isn't a magic and it won't make all your problems disappear. But somehow, what it will do is makes your problem more manageable. So there are ways to become positive. Say, I can instead of can. Smile more. Be optimistic. No, be thankful. So look around you. No, sila na if you see the moon, you see the goodness of God. No, so if you see the sun, you see the power of God, and if you see yourself in the mirror, you see the wonderful creation of God. So kana lang daan ining mata pa lang ninyo, ining atubang ninyo sa amin, wow, what a wonderful creation nga I am. So forget about regrets, be thankful, and be kind to other people. So these are things that you need to practice. Nurture the so-called positive self-view, because when we are positive in life, there would be positive things that comes to us. So be grateful for the things that we have, that despite our pandemic, we are still challenging, we are still alive, we are still lumalaban, no? Katugiingon gani ng lumalaban. Believe that there is something in you greater than any obstacles in life. Look for something grateful, that you are healthy, that you can still go to school, that you have your gadgets, that you have your friends around, that you have your family. No, have a gratitude journal. Try to do a gratitude journal. This will also somehow help you with your self-care. Ingon sila, focus on the good things. No, focus on the good things niya. Spend time with positive people. Part of that in the so-called self-care is you go with positive people. Okay, negativity and positivity man kuno is contagious and it attracts. So if you are with people who are negative, most likely you feel their negativity. So if you go with people who are positive, most probably you are feeling what they are feeling also. Okay, so practice positive self-talk and you start it with yourself. Okay. Now, okay, as an activity, what are the things that you are grateful for today, aside from your family? You know, aside from the families that we have, of course, it's something to be grateful. Look around you. What are the things that give me three things that you are grateful for today? Sige ko na be. Kindly type in the chat box. What are the three grateful things you have for today? Food, okay. No, of course, food. What else? Oh, I wake up. That's true, no? Because not everybody are given the chance to wake up. Some of those people are in the hospital begging for their life, and it's something to be grateful. That's true. Real birth. What else? I wake up, no? Food. Look around you. What can you see? Air, food, life, food, another living, healthy, good health. It's true. Marjorie. Grateful for having a good health. That's true. Okay. Digitanan na good health. Water, according to Trixie. Another day, safety and good health. No, according to Jeremy. Safety and good health. Okay, good weather. Yeah, good weather. Wala ba'y uwan diha sa Bohol? Being able to wake up every day and food in our dining tables, whatever food it is, it's something to be grateful about. Good health and education. That's true, because not everybody were able to study. Groceries, task, oh wow, free haircut. That's good, free haircut. Grateful for experiencing wonderful life. That's true. Okay. Grateful that we are alive and kicking and that we are living comfortably and that a lot of people are receiving vaccinations, right? Okay. Okay, so thank you for sharing things that you are grateful for. Now, apart from the so-called increase your positive thinking, it's also important that you have to connect. Last one in my part, in doing a self-care, it's important that you have to connect and communicate. Even if we are in the pandemic, there is social distancing. Social health is important in our well-being because it makes us more connected to other people. So we need to connect because why does other people matter? Because according to Sonia Lutarno, who is a professor of Columbia University. If we are going to foster our well-being, the first thing that we need to do is to have a dependable support network, support groups, people around us from time to time. Because the more that we connect, the more that we build our resiliency. And the more that we are resilient, Filipino resilient, the more we can take up a challenge in life. So, may na siyang gingon, laban lang, dili pwede mo bawi, kaya katuglo isa, sex bomb dancer mo bawi. So, laban lang yun for me. So, make time for them, make time for your family, make time for other people, communicate, contact them, ask them if they are okay, ask them also how you feel. If you are okay, if you're not okay, tell them how you feel. It's okay not to be okay, according to them, even if meditations can help, people are not living in a vacuum. So we need other people as well. So you have to have a social support. It's not optional, it's essential. So building on other people, having a social support, there is the online kumustahan. This will somehow make you closer to other, and this can help your relationship, and this can help you become more able to face the challenges of this pandemic. Okay, so self-care. So we have a self-care. So identify lang, check lang, muna siya diingon. These are the activities pertaining to the 6 things, the 6 type of self-care that I've mentioned ganina. So you identify, in this assessment, you will think how frequently, identify, unsa man ko ka frequent, unsa man ko ka permi. One ba ang pag-eat na ko og food? One ba ang pag-take care na ko of sa akong personal hygiene? One ba? What are the areas I need to improve, so that you have to be reflected so that you would know what areas you need to improve. So for example, in the physical care, how do you rate yourself in eating healthy foods? Anak lang, or take care of your personal hygiene. Do you take a bath ba every day? So unsa man na siya, basig heart na siya, this is the star ni siya, areas that you need to improve kay every other day ra mo maligo. So or exercise, do you do exercise? How often is your exercise? Is it 1, 2, or 3? Wear clothes that help me feel good about myself. Do you eat regularly? Do you eat on time? So these are pertaining to our physical health care. Do you do activities, swimming, walking, dancing, Zumba, videoke? Pwede rasad, Okay. Do you sleep 8 hours a day? So, kana. Or if you have problems with your physical health, do you ask for medications? Do you seek consultations sa doctor? And when you are sick, do you do rest? Or you still go to work? Kana siya. So, overall physical health, what is your component with your overall physical health? Okay. Then, with your psychological nature, with your psychological, physical, psychological or emotional self-care, how do you assess yourself? Identify, is it 1, 2, or 3, or a star, which means you need to improve on that area. Take time off from work, schools, or other obligations. Unsa man kadaghana ang inyong school activities or school works or missing or tasks ninyo sa school, with all those tasks that you have, you are doing, do you take time to take a break? Do you participate in doing your hobbies? Aside from that, how about getting away from distractions? Kana siya kung gi-mention ganina, to keep away, to unplug. Mo-unplug ba mo sa inyong cellphone? Or di gid mo mabuhi nga walay cellphone? So, these are part of our psychological and emotional self-care. You learn new things. And aside from the school works that you have, what are the things that you learn? Do you express your feelings in creating, in arts, in journaling, or talking to people? If you are feeling this way, if you're feeling bad, do you express that to people? Or how about your strength and achievement? Do you recognize what are you good at? Or what are your achievements? And when you are really so busy in life, do you take on vacations or day trips, no? Or pamper yourself, no? Reward yourself maybe, no? Or do something that is comforting. Watch a movie, Netflix, taking a long bath, going to the parlor, no? Kani siya, going to the parlor. Muna akong gikamingawan, no? And did you find reasons to laugh with your friends? Ayaw lang sa laugh sa inyo nagawalingon. So, laugh with your friends, your family, or do you take time to talk about your problems? These are the so-called overall psychological and emotional self-care. So, identify which of this area, no, in self-care that you need to improve. Then social, pertaining to other people, dealing with other people. Do you spend time with people that you like? No, with your families? Do you call or write your friends who are far away? Your lola maybe who are far away. Do you call them? Do you have a stimulating conversations with your classmates, your families? Did you meet new people? No? Can you meet new people? Mablisod ni para karon, no? So, especially we are in pandemic. Do you spend time alone with your partner, no? Mga bayunin niyo. Okay. Do you ask for help? Ask others for help when needed? And do you do enjoyable activities with other people? Okay. You keep in touch with old friends, your high school friends maybe, and this pertains to the self-care. So you identify which among the self-care that you need to improve. Later on, you are going to make a commitment and do a self-care plan. Then there is the last one is spiritual. Napadali at practical. Spiritual, do you spend with nature? Do you meditate? Do you pray? Do you recognize the things that gives you life, no, in accordance to your moral? Do you set time for thoughts and reflections, no? Before you go to sleep? Do you reflect or mutug lang mo diretso, no? Okay. Do you participate in a cause or volunteer in a particular cause, like being a mental health advocate, no? Tree planting? Do you do that? Do you appreciate arts that is impactful to you, no, literature? And this pertains to the spiritual self-care. So not necessarily all of this you will have, but at least one or two, no, that you spend self-care and identify areas that you need to improve. And lastly, the professional self-care. So improve my professional skills. Do you say no if you have so many responsibilities given to you? Do you able to say no, mom, I have so many, or maybe I can do that best, but in a particular time lang siguro, no? Do you take on projects that are interesting or rewarding? Do you learn new things related to your subject of interest? Do you make time to build relationship with colleagues and take breaks during your work? So maintain also balance between professional and personal life, and have a comfortable workspace that allows you to be successful. No, advocate for pay, benefits, and etc. So this pertains to your professional self-care. Okay, now, this time after all the talks that we have with personal self-care, no, professional, spiritual, what are your insights and discoveries in life? I'd like you to type in the chat box. Sana all my partner, no? Bitaw, or ang katong walay partner, ang mangita og partner, di ba? Ang katong wala pa'y partner, ginuwat lang mo, maabot ra na, basig na traffic lang, no? So, with all the things that we have described or shared to you about my self-care tips and also self-care, personal, physical, what are your discoveries and insights for today? Type in the chat box your insights. Listo. Okay. Hindi ako makita inyong Okay? What are your insights? Na-remind ko to prioritize akong self. Okay, limot ko. Nako sa ka-busy, right? Oh, sometimes because of the busy schedules that we have, because of the busy work that we have, usually, daghan ko kay tagitrabaho, no? But muna siya ginaingon nga, even if we are all replaceable. If we are working too much and we stress our life with the works that we have, and maluya ta, and it would affect our physical well-being. Whatever it is, no? Ang ending na gid ana may lisan na gid ta sa trabaho. No, that is why we have to take good care of ourselves. Follow your passion using your strength to get the best return for your energy and time. I discover more things how to take care of myself, spend time and relaxing and able to be more comfortable, no? Di daw maligo kay wala na face-to-face class. So mani wrong line ako nabasa. Na-remind ko kay nalimot ko nga busy. Okay. So muna dito. Okay. Prioritize first your own self before others and everything will follow. True. No? So unahon yun ninyo pagalingon because you cannot give what you do not have. Okay. And you can love more if you love yourself more. More self-care, and I discover more things than now than before. Okay? Good realization. Another one last. Self-love. Self-love, according to Renabek. Okay, you cannot love anyone without loving yourself first. And by loving someone, you should remain at least 20 to 50% to yourself. No, so by loving someone, you should remain at least okay. Magbiling gyud, no? Okay, love and care yourself and families. Okay, if you love and care for yourself, you can do more things for your family. Okay. Now, as a last, no, this is what we call us to end our webinar. Prioritize our mental health, self-care according to self. Commitment to self-care. So this is what we're going to do right now. I may not be able to see all of you, but of course, I'd like you to commit to self-care. Now you can start your commitment to self-care by making a list of 6 activities. No, maybe kung dako na gay daghan na kay activities, like can have 4 to 5, no, that replenish you. So if you are stuck with the ideas, think of what you think that you enjoy the most. List on the self-care activities, not necessarily pareho mo, no? But find a way to schedule time for these activities on a regular basis. So if you feel like you don't have the time, look at where you can create time. Pangitain siya og oras yun. Like for example, unsa man nga self-care imong gusto, pray, no? In terms of pray or meditation. So pray and meditation always in the morning or late at night. So what time is that? So imo na ibutang na nimo. So ako aning i-share ni Miss Dale ang copy so that you can put here, no, kani siya ang commitment to self-care. And I challenge you all, no, to put all your self-care, commitment to self-care, and what are the things that you do for yourself, to yourself. And you write there and post it in the social media that you have, no? Because this challenge will somehow make you more able to do it. No, kay commitment man ka nimo, ipabuhagay gyud ni sa ubang tao, ipakita gyud nimo sa ubang tao nga I am committed to do a self-care. No? So, would it be okay with all of you? No, i-share ko ni ang form ni Miss Dale, and you are going to write in your commitment to self-care. So just list 3 to 4 or 3 to 5 maybe activities that you commit to do for yourself. Okay? Do we agree with that? Okay, lastly, so kani siya. Lastly, No, so as we move along to the so-called pandemic that we have, I would say that how do we survive? How do I survive? No? So in my experience, I really accept the challenge and do self-care and create a new perspective with the pandemic that we have. So instead of looking at the pandemic as something that is panic, anxiety, negativity, and etc., I think of the pandemic that is not scary, not frustrating, or not deadly. Yes, it is, no? But we can always shift our minds to that and do. We have our choice. We have to take care of ourselves. No? And in my case, I see the other side of the pandemic. No? And this pandemic really helped me in surviving and really thriving, and later on to excel in myself. So, uh, how do I survive with the pandemic? So you have to remember, no, as I move along with this pandemic, I become pandemic. So I shift. I really have reframed my mind. So instead of taking into the anxiety, the panic, and etc., I have to realize that in pandemic, I have to prioritize self. I have to ask self help. I have to be a nature lover as well as decrease my social media use. I need to and exercise, being mindfulness, and increase my positive thinking. And lastly, I have to communicate and connect with other people. So lastly, let's move forward. No, let's move forward. And later on, you do your self-care commitment. Let's imagine the day we look back at the events of 2020 and 2021, where we are in quarantine. So you would say that this was really the time that you really invest on taking care of yourself. This is the time that we really remember that I have to love myself first before I can love my family. And this is the time that I commit myself to self-care. And then, but that time, we could proudly say that that year, the 2020, 2021, that was the best year. That year was the best for me. So thank you for spending time. Look after yourself, you and your family. Stay well and good afternoon, everyone.
Yan. Salamat kayo, Miss Bern.
Yeah.
And
I would like to inform them with their commitment themselves. I'll share to you, Miss Dale, the
yung
presentations.
ako nang gi-screenshot, akong
Ah, okay.
i-post sa wall sa FB sa Dale TPC Wellness. I-check lang
Yeah.
dito sa student ha.
Okay. So that I can also check them, no,
Yes.
their self-care activity. It is very important that they have to really plan it, no, plan it their self-activity.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you.
So this
Thank you.
time, salamat kayo, Miss Bern. Salamat sad kayo, students, for being with us, no? And karon, if you have questions, Miss Bern, may,
Yes.
sige, you may chat in your questions if you have para matubag ni Miss Bern. Basi naa sila dungag pa nga mga question. Thank you naman sila, Miss Bern. Sige, gana to. Mga gamayng few minutes to wait.
Basig naghunahuna pa sila, Miss Dale, sa ilang mga
Yeah.
pangutana. Okay.
So sa karong panahon na basig ako na ilahang stressor, Miss.
You have to identify your stress, no? You have to identify. But of course, no, it's important to share good, whatever stress that they have. No? Communicate lang.
Matod pa sa giingon ni Miss Bern, ask help no, if you need one. Sige, basig na mo yung mga question para matubag. While waiting di ay sa ilahang question, mag-inform lang ko students ha, participants, naka-notice ko nga na ay mga late naka-attend and ako na siyang nalista. akong gi-screenshot ang mga late na ko nga na-admit. So that means wala mo kasugod. Nindot unta og makasugod jud mo. And nakasabot ko nga gaulan diri Miss Bern unya intermittent ang signal. So ma-out, ma-in, ma-out, ma-in. So para makakita mo og tarong, adto lang mo sa katong FB nga Dale TPC Wellness kay naa dito ang live unya ma-rewatch ra man na siya. And then basin within today, basin unyang gabi, mag-post sad ko sa YouTube sa ang link ako lang po i-post sa Facebook karon daghan mo options kung asa mo tan-aw o balik sa video. And to your friends nga wala ka join, please let them watch. And akong balikon sa katong mga na late, tan-aw lang mo sa daan, tan-aw sa mo daan sa FB live before mo take sa evaluation, okay? Para mas nindot ang tubag nga atong mabasa. And by the way, ang evaluation link nato atong ihatag later ha. After sa kang Miss Bern, inig out ni Miss Bern taod-taod, nami trivia Miss Bern before nako i-share ang link para sa evaluation. And ako lang ihangyo sa uban, sa tanan, nga inig-answer ninyo sa evaluation form, mabasa man gud na mo inig-print. Naman goy mo answer dito Miss Bern nga kanang random ra nga letters ba? So kanang what have you learned? Pag random na jud type og 1 2 3 4 5 6 ana. So hangyo lang ko nga please answer the evaluation. Kanang honestly, unya ang kanang evaluation ninyo will serve as your attendance and then inig-enter ninyo sa evaluation, automatic na mo send sa inyong og certificate. Okay? Sige, so I think Miss Bern wala na sila question. So
Yeah.
akong gi-expect nga satisfied kaayo atong mga participants karon, no?
One last message for the participants, no? Especially now that we are celebrating the mental health awareness. We are part of the mental health advocate magita Miss Dale, no? So
Yes,
as much as we can, we need to educate them that if they are feeling distressed or feeling frustrated in life, they can always share. No? They can always share and there are help available. I-express lang good na siya, no? Kay sometimes manggod ka nang, we have to break the stigma ba ka nang that people are not telling, no? They are not sharing what they feel, kay mahadlok sila, no, in secret, but in reality they are help and we are just waiting for them to express. And you have to remember, no, that you are worthy, you are strong, you are precious, you are loved, and you matter, no? So wala siya.
Yes, Miss Bern. So moto akong balikon if naamoy mga concerns sa academic, sa personal, sa financial, chat lang mo. Sa financial, dili kong hatagot.
Pareho tag concern, Miss Dale. Kasi pareho niya tag concern, ano. Pero at least, mapangitaan mo lang pagi, di ba?
So, madiscuss na to kung unsay mga pamaagi nga pwede na to mabuhat.
Yeah, true.
Okay? Sige, so pwede mo, actually, Miss Bern, nag-text ko, hapit na kumahuman og text sa tanan freshman, no? So ang uban nakadawat na og text message, pwede mo ato mo text nga number, pwede sad mo chat sa kaning Dale TPC Wellness nga Facebook. Okay? Then we have your mga ate nga mga leaders, mga SST, pwede kayo mumuduol nila. We also have our peer facilitators. So mo na siya. Okay?
Nice. Kaya na-prepare facilitator sa job,
Miss Bern, we have kaway-kaway dyan sa mga PF nga naakaroon ni participate.
Yeah.
Sila gid ako ang aid, Miss Bern. Kay naamay uban nga maulaw mo share sa ako, pero mo share sa mga facilitators. So,
mas open sila.
Yes, Miss Bern. So, mauna siya. So, before we end this webinar, let me present the certificate para ni Miss Bern. Let me share my screen. Miss Byrne, this certificate of appreciation is presented to you in grateful recognition of this valuable contribution as the guest speaker of the Mental Health Awareness Webinar Series 3, entitled Self-Care, held on October 24, 2021 via Zoom conference, signed by Dr. Maria Fegpi Kumahig, our president, and Honorable Mayor Janet Aurastila Garcia, our Municipal Mayor, and TPC BOT Chairwoman. There you go, Miss Bern. Daghang
Thank
salamat.
you. Daghang salamat.
I will send this to you, Miss
TPC.
Bern.
Yeah, thank you TPC for the opportunity. No, so have a
Thank you
great day,
so.
everyone.
Yes, Miss Bern, thank you. And everyone, please say thank you to Miss Bern B. Unmute B.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Welcome, everyone.
Thank you, ma'am.
Salamat, Miss Bern.
Okay,
you, Ma'am
thank you,
Bern.
thank you.
Bye, Miss Bern.
Bye-bye.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank
Thank
you.
you very much.
Alright. So, ang nakabilin karon.
I have to leave na, Miss Dale, ha?
Yes, Miss Bern.
Okay,
Salamat,
thank you, everyone.
Miss.
Bye-bye.
Bye, Miss. There you go. The most awaited part of this webinar is the trivia. So, each correct answer, no, ang prize ana is load. Okay? So, the first correct answer nga ma-chat dinhi sa atong chat box, maoy matagaan og load. However, all right, that ends our trivia for today. And now, I will be sharing to you diri sa chat box sa ato ang link para sa webinar nga evaluation form. Okay? And I would like to remind everyone sa katong mga na-late and nag-stick on off, before mo fill up sa evaluation, kanani ang pwede mo rewatch lang sa mo. I would advise you to rewatch again para mas nindot ang inyong tubag pinigbasa nako sa inyong evaluation. Okay? Sige, so I will be posting na karon for a while ha, akong pangitaon ang link. Then to those who are watching via FB Live, please PM me para mahatag na ko inyo po ang link sa evaluation. Okay? Okay, everyone, I am sending now the link of the evaluation form. Nadawat ra? Thank you. Alright, so yan na ha, nakita ra ninyo. And to repeat, ang mga wala naka-attend gikan sa sinugdanan, I advise you to watch it again via FB Live, and later tonight I will post it in the YouTube. Then the link will be shared also sa Dale TPC Wellness na Facebook. Okay? Please type done kung na-copy na ang link, then you may exit na after. Once again, thank you so much, and don't forget the commitment, okay? Don't forget your commitment. Please send it to me, or please post it in your Facebook para sa inyong wall para mabasa namo ni Miss Bern inyong commitment to yourself. Okay? Ang link ang image sa commitment to yourself na post na nako sa Dale TPC Wellness.
Bye, ma'am.
Bye. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Ang commitment ha, ayaw kalimot. I-post sa inyong FB.